Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am starting a new series. The NCAA Football 07 game won't allow me to play a game at all for whatever reason. Maybe it's because the game's scratched up badly, because it'll go through all the menus just fine, but when you actually try to do the game, it just phases through the ground and won't let the game happen. So, we have moved up 1 year to NCAA Football 08. And this is the beginning of the year, beginning of the Dynasty, as we were beginning in 2007. And we have ourselves the top 25, which does not feature McNary Central at all. I know, surprising, considering how dominant McNary Central was in the other series. But at the same time, I started that in like year 3, when the build was already basically kind of completed to get them to the top. Here, number 1 is USC, number 2 is Michigan, number 3 is LSU, number 4 is Florida, number 5 is Texas, number 6 is West Virginia Mountain Mama, number 7 is Wisconsin, number 8 is Oklahoma, number 9 is Virginia Tech, number 10 is Arkansas, number 11 is Louisville, which, considering I've got McNary Central still facing them, they won't be number 11 for long. Number 12 is Ohio State, which, honestly, compared to the previous series, highly underrated. Number 13 is 14th is Nebraska, 15th is Tennessee, 16th is Cal, 17th is Penn State, 18th is Georgia, 19th is UCLA, although in the other series, UCLA is one of those teams that just didn't do so well, even though they're a well-known team. The problem is they just couldn't get any momentum really going. Number 20, this is the weirdest one of them all, Rutgers. I foresee them probably not staying in the top 20 for long. And they've got 4 road games and 8 home games. That's a crazy split, in my opinion, because personally I'd like to have the home and road games even. But you do you, Rutgers. Number 21 is Florida State. Number 22 is TCU. 23 is Boise State. Number 24 is Texas A&M. And speaking of things that are weird from the previous universe, number 25 is Boston College. When Boston College was one of the most horrendous teams in the game, and the year prior, before I had actually started that series, they made it to a bowl game at 4-8. So, we'll go to the conference outlook to, you see, I had to throw McNary Central into the SEC this time around instead of it being the Independents, because the only teams in the Independent scene, if I can just get it on there we go, the only teams in the Independent scene are Notre Dame, Navy, and Army. Where is Temple, you may ask? Well, my good viewers, they are here in the MAC. Projected finish 12th over Eastern Michigan, and they are in the east of the WAC. So, while I'm here, I can show you where I placed everybody else and for the created teams. Mickey, I threw him back into the ACC because of their rival being Duke. And in the past, I made Tampa Bay's rival being Florida, but I, for some reason, just decided to throw him into the Big 12 because I don't think Baylor really had that many big rivals. I kind of thought the same way this time around with ECU, and I threw them in their spot, so, and their rival is UCF, so, hey, managed to land in the same division too, so that's a yearly matchup to look forward to. But, anyways, for our bottom 10, we have ourselves at the very top spot, and this is just off of my personal opinion, is BYU. Reason they're ranked 43rd in the nation, with a D plus overall, and I'll prove that D plus overall to y'all anyways. Now you'll see all the check marks. That's because I wanted to test out how long a game is for me to do on Twitch, which you can follow me now on Twitch at BBWildBill. And yeah, they're going against Arizona this week at D plus overall with a C offense, a C minus defense, yet they are ranked 43rd in the nation and ahead of teams in their conference like Utah, New Mexico, San Diego State, UNLV, you know? Now, understandably, this came after the 2006 season, but still, you know, well, the real life 2006 season, not the in-universe 2006 season, otherwise McNary Central would still be at the top. But I don't see that BYU really doing anything much this year. Next on the list, we have the team that's probably at the bottom, no, second to the bottom here, in Connecticut. And they aren't really known for football, and fans are just waiting for basketball season, in my opinion. They're ranked 66 in the preseason polls, which is pretty decent for them. I know I've got the Big East standings, so let me just go ahead and get back to here. But yeah, 66 for basically being a basketball school and a 2-star program. Ahead a couple of 3-star programs. Yeah, I'd say that's respectable, but like I said, they won't do well at all this season. Number 3, we're going to scroll down a bit further to Stanford, who's in the top 75, which in real life, 2006, they finished 1-10. I'm just saying, let's see how they do. I mean, they're in the Pac-10. It's a tough conference. Let's see how they do. Will they rise and get out of the bottom 10? I mean, they're a 3-star program. There's only one way to find out for them. And number 4, I put an old friend of the channel, San Jose State. And they're a staple on this list, as the Spartans are looking to turn their fortune around in this universe and be a team that can come closer to being in full contention rather than just winning against the FCS schools. So let's see how they do. I mean, 1-star program. I mean, what can you really do? Although 78th ranked as a 1-star school. Pretty impressive. And I put Temple in at number 5 because I didn't really know where to put them, honestly, on the list. Yeah, as you can see, you know, McNary Central, Mickey, and Tampa Bay, all these 5-star, well, 6-star schools all being at the bottom. I thought they'd just treat the graded schools, because they're like, we don't know how these schools will do, even though they have all the program stars. So we'll just throw them down here at the bottom. But yeah, here's Temple at 115, which if it weren't for the 3 created teams, they would be 118. So the second worst team in the entire game. And they're making this their debut in this universe, as stated at the beginning of the video. The Owls were replaced by McNair Central in 07, but now that they're in the MAC, they got protected because the Bobcats knew they would dominate that conference. Heck, Bobcats would just dominate any conference they're in all honesty. Especially with me using them. As you can see, every other team is white. McNair Central's blue, which means I control them. So it's gonna be a long year for the SEC. But yeah, having a team in Tennessee in the MAC doesn't make that much sense in all honesty. Number 6, another really stable to the channel, is Idaho. And the Vandals aren't the best team. You see, 1-star school. Well, and starting their year off against the number 1 team in the nation, they will definitely be going up a bit. Now, at number 7, only because I'm not beef still with them, Boston College is at number 7. Maybe they'll prove me wrong and have me eat my words from the virtual standpoint, but only one way to find out, otherwise it will be back here at the bottom of the list. And for number 8, another team that's kind of making their debut for the series is Baylor. If I can find them here, I mean, I could just go with the conference standings. Here we are. Baylor's at number 8. Like I said, I replaced them with Tampa Bay in 07, but now after they're here, Big 12's going to be ultra competitive, and I think they just, teams like Oklahoma, Texas, and Colorado have been given much easier wins than nail biters because Baylor's in instead of Tampa Bay, but that's it. At number 9, I've got Northern Illinois, only because I'm shocked about how low they are. I mean, they became one of the best teams in the lower conference schools in 07. And them getting at number 87 is surprising me. But I can see them easily turning around. And another team, and the team that's number 10, and I think they're even further down in all honesty. Yeah, Louisiana Tech, number 109. I'm used to them seeming like being in the lower teens, in the upper 20s with the top 25. And them being down here at 109th is highly surprising. But I think they'll still make good work of the WAC. And they'll at least contend with Boise State. And now on to my favorite part. It's always coming up with the key games. Key game number 1, we have ourselves Navy versus Temple. The Owls are making their big debut on this channel, and will be doing so in a home opener against the Navy midshipmen. The Philadelphia crowd, that's always rowdy for the Eagles on Sundays, may show up and play a positive factor for the Owls, because let's face it, with a D+ overall, they're going to get all the help they can get. But their C offense, C- defense, should be interesting. And also, I changed up settings for the live streams. I've got it on Heisman difficulty and made almost all the stats even. I left the punt for the computer being all the way up still, but kept the interceptions down to 0 because they'll just pick off every single pass, and put the knockdowns at 10% because I think the knockdowns will just lead to more interceptions. But other than that, everything's back to 50-50 Heisman difficulty for the live streams when I am not playing the games like Navy and Temple here. And for the home crowd, if they don't play a factor, this could be a close game. And with Navy running the triple option, all they need is a lead, and it's over. I'm going to give a slight edge to Temple, though, as the Owls may have a D+ rating. Their offense and defense won't be the reason why they're rated that low. Matchup number 2, we have Oklahoma State and number 18, Georgia. A big game for these two teams as the Cowboys head into Athens between the hedges to face off against the 18th ranked Bulldogs. On paper, these teams look even, but I'm giving the advantage to Georgia. Bulldogs with home field advantage will play a huge factor that will rile the Cowboys into making many mistakes and will have a sour taste going back home for their home opener in week 2 against Florida Atlantic, I want to say, which I'm not going to make that a key game for next week because, I mean, looking ahead, yeah, for Oklahoma State, it's going to be an easy win for them. Why am I going to choose to cover that? Key game number 3 is Tampa Bay at Virginia Tech. Lightning are making an appearance here as a quote-unquote debuting team. As we just showed you, all 3 of the created teams are ranked at the absolute bottom. And they're going against the number 9 team in the nation. Hey, go big or go home, am I right? Virginia Tech needs the home field advantage to be a factor. Otherwise, this could be ugly for them, as the Lightning look to pull off the upset. And I can see them pulling it off too. especially since it's going to be an A+ defense against a B+ offense. That defense is going to be suffocating the offense and causing a whole bunch of trouble for the Hokies. And game number 4, I mean. My brain just can't count for whatever reason. Honestly, I could have made this one as a battle of basketball schools, but instead I chose going with Mickey against Boston College. And if you'll notice during the live stream for this game, Mickey's abbreviation is MMS. That's short for Mickey Methodology School. I was thinking of calling them Mickey Methodist School, but with their team name being the Devils, Methodist and Devil, yeah, not the smartest of combinations. So that's why I went with Methodology School. But yeah, Mickey Methodology School is taking on an ACC foe, and a ranked one at that, against Boston College. The Eagles are ranked 25th, which can easily change, as the Devils are going to come to Chestnut Hill, win, and move up several spots in the rankings as they are ranked very low. Like I said, with Tampa Bay and McNair Central, and a win against a ranked foe will certainly help them get boosted plenty of spots. And the last one, and this is one I decided to do because I want to show a bit of my actual gameplay for the live streams on Twitch. It's going to be McNair Central against Louisville. And they're starting off, Bobcats are starting off here strong by going against the top 15 team in the Cardinals and going on the road for it as well. They replaced Vanderbilt, so yeah. See, SEC games, I feel that's like going to hamper their style a little bit, especially against teams like Ole Miss and maybe South Carolina. You know, Kentucky's probably going to be one of them teams as well that's going to be like, you look on the schedule, not really that big of a matchup. But as stated, Vanderbilt was replaced in this universe as Temple is protected by conference and didn't want to mess up the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, which, for some of y'all that don't know, is the matchup between Army, Navy, and Air Force, and whichever branch wins against the other two branches gets the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. And there's also Notre Dame, which, as you can see, we got at the end of the year for the senior game. I mean, understandably why they're not ranked right now. B+, well, B+. I can see why, but Notre Dame has so many rivalries. Like, I mean, I know I'm going off tangent here with the video a bit, but yeah. Fine. I think it might be easier if we, because they have rivalry with Michigan, rivalry with Michigan State, rivalry with Purdue, rivalry against Boston College, against USC, and that's about it for their rivalries that are in the season right now, but yeah, I didn't want to affect that. And they're going to prove why they chose to be an independent in the other universe. They're going to go into Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. Yes, that's the full name of Louisville Stadium. I looked it up through the power of the mascot game, because you can play as the mascots in this game. Beat down the Cardinals and walk away with win number 1 of the year. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. And the first game that will be live streamed on Twitch will be the game between Navy and Temple. So join me on Twitch, and until then, I will see you all next time.